If your mother were still alive, do you ever think about how she might handle this moment? We
wouldn't have got to this moment.
Talk to me about that.
Well, we wouldn't have done.
Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well and that you had a great week. To all of my house guests, come in, make yourselves at home, make yourselves comfortable. If you're passing by and you'd like to become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. I'm Chez, this is Chez M0i. Welcome to my place. So guys, I don't usually start my videos like this, but I was shocked to find out that Virginia DuFray has passed away. Now, if you recall, this is the young lady pictured with Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell in the background. She was the young lady who brought allegations against Andrew. This is the article from Sky News, dated the 26th of April 2025. And the headline reads, Virginia DuFray, who accused Prince Andrew of SA, has died, her family says. Virginia DuFray's family has told Sky's US partner network NBC News she took her own life at her farm in Western Australia. I don't want to read the rest of this, guys, because it is so sad. I will read this paragraph because I think it's quite poignant. It says, in the end, the toll of abuse is so heavy that it became unbearable for Virginia to handle its weight. But just to show you the level of insensitivity that Andrew and his ilk possess, there's been a lot of backlash against a former girlfriend of Andrew who made this statement online. She said, when lies catch up with you, there's no way out. I'm just going to leave that there, guys, because I don't want to... I could say so much about this. Because it looks like certain people have got away with things again, and you guys know what I mean. Make of that what you will. I don't even know what to say, guys. I'm just going to leave that there. Anyway, let's move on. If you happen to attend any school, university or work reunions, your observation may be that apart from the aging process, the various individual personalities, for the most part, remain unchanged. I was casually scrolling on Instagram a couple of days ago, and this clip, which I remember very clearly, appeared on my feed.
Quick, Mary will go! Alright, Harry will have all the fun then. No! No, it's alright.
No! No, 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 no!
If your mother were still alive, do you ever think about how she might handle this moment? We
wouldn't have got to this moment.
Talk to me about that.
Well, we wouldn't have done. I don't know what...
There was already crisis in your family. There was already divisions. She was already being hounded. Mm-hmm. So...
It's impossible to say where we would be now, where those relationships would be now, but there is no way that the distance between my brother and I would be the same.
Do you sort of mentally or spiritually ask for help as to, like, what can I do to fix this? Any advice she might give you in this moment?
I've said quite a lot recently in these in different interviews that I've been doing that I've really felt the presence of my mum, especially in the last couple of years. And I detail in the book my brother and I talking at her grave and how he felt as though she had been with him for a long period of time and helped set him up with life, and that he felt she was now moving over to me. And I have felt her more in the last 2 years than I have in the last 30.
I think it's fair to say that despite the challenges he faces, Harry is definitely having all the fun now. I always note when he comes to London, especially when it's to do with litigation, he kind of has this self-assured swagger which lets you know he's very content with the life that he's carved out for himself, with his wife by his side and his children to raise. My general observations about William, though, inform me that while the manifestation may be more age-appropriate, his deep desire to not let Harry have all the fun remains unchanged. And occasionally, he'll make a move that will cause an eyebrow or two to raise in an attempt to elicit a reaction from his brother. This article is from cosmopolitan.com, published on the 22nd of April 2025, and the headline reads, Prince William hires former Prince Harry aide with pariah status. He doesn't care about what his brother thinks. In a move that certainly seems pointed, Prince William just made Jason Knopf CEO of the Earthshot Prize. If this means nothing to you, quick reminder that Jason is the former royal aide who accused Meghan Markle of bullying, a claim she strongly denied and one of her team described as part of a smear campaign. So, what's the backstory here? It's unclear why William made this brow-raising move, but royal expert Richard Fitzwilliams told Fox News that Prince William's decision to make Jason Knopf the former private secretary of the Sussexes, the CEO of his most prestigious project, will infuriate Harry and Meghan. It is impossible to avoid feeling that this is precisely what William intended. Fitzwilliams went on to say that, as far as the Sussexes are concerned, Knopf undoubtedly has pariah status. William is clearly showing he doesn't care about what his brother thinks, much less Meghan. The royal rift seems permanent. Meanwhile, royal expert Hilary Fordwich added that while every royal has had issues regarding those they can trust, Prince William, having been betrayed by his brother, is wary and has deeper trust issues. Jason remains one of his closest confidants, a trusted advisor and a member of his inner circle due to his discretion during difficult times. Pretty wild that William would hire someone who accused Meghan of bullying, but then again, this family is nothing if not messy. This time last year I was working for a global NGO which focuses on sustainability and the effects of climate change. As far as that organisation is concerned, the work is ongoing. In other words, it doesn't have an expiry date. So for those of you who are way more knowledgeable than me, maybe you could help answer these questions. Why does the Earthshot Prize have a proposed end date of 2030, 5 years from now? Does William believe that this is another crisis he can solve within a certain time frame, just like his 5-year plan to end homelessness in the UK? If his grandfather, father and brother can launch and maintain organisations with a long-term view to benefit those less fortunate in society, has William failed to adopt the same legacy mindset because he wants to retire as if what he does is a regular 9-to-5 job. Now, by appointing Jason Knopf as CEO of the Earthshot Prize, it is implied that William doesn't care about what Harry and Meghan think, because remember, Jason is the person who brought the bullying allegations against Meghan. My question is, why does William believe that Harry and Meghan even have time to pay attention to him and what he's doing when they always have bigger fish to fry, like they did earlier this week? This article is from BET.com, published on the 25th of April 2025, and the headline reads, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry unveil NYC memorial honouring children lost to social media harms. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex join grieving families for a powerful vigil spotlighting the tragic impact of online dangers. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are using their platform to spotlight a heartbreaking crisis impacting families across the globe. On April 23rd, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, alongside their Archwell Foundation, unveiled the Lost Screen Memorial in New York City, a moving installation honouring children who tragically lost their lives due to the harmful effects of social media. Located at the Perch in Midtown Manhattan, the display features 50 smartphones, each showing the lock screen photo of a child whose life was cut short. The images were shared by parents from Archwell's Parents Network, a community of families united in their mission to push for safer online spaces. These children were not sick. Their deaths were not inevitable. They were exposed to, and in many cases were pushed harmful content online, Prince Harry said in a statement at the event, captured by People. To the platforms, they may be seen as statistics. To their families, they were cherished and irreplaceable. The couple joined nearly 50 grieving families for a private vigil, offering words of comfort and solidarity. No matter how polarised the world is, one thing that we can all agree on is that our children should be safe, Meghan told reporters. All of our children should be safe. The Archwell Foundation noted that despite growing awareness and nearly 40 congressional hearings on online harm since 2017, many tech companies are still scaling back child safety protections. The Duke and Duchess emphasised that this work is just the beginning. It is a community that should not need to exist, Harry said. Another item on the Sussexes' schedule while they were in New York this week was Meghan speaking at the Time 100 Summit. This article is from the news.com.pk, published on the 24th of April 2025, and the headline reads, Meghan Markle's Time 100 appearance sends powerful message about her royal ties. Meghan looks stunning in a white button-up shirt. Meghan Markle turned heads at the Time 100 summit in New York, where her poised presence and styling choices quietly echoed her ongoing connection to the royal legacy she married into. Attending the high-profile event alongside her husband Prince Harry, the Duchess of Sussex exudes confidence and elegance as the couple arrived at Jazz Lincoln Centre for the prestigious gathering. Harry and Meghan stepped inside the venue with a smile on their faces as the pair radiated charm during their visit to the major US city for the 5th edition of the summit. Meghan looked stunning in a white button-up shirt, however a statement belt and gold watch elevated her look, while her hoop earrings and soft loose waves complemented the sophisticated ensemble. Interestingly, she wore a piece of jewellery once belonging to Princess Diana, the mother of Prince Harry. For the unversed, the Duchess was among a group of notable attendees, including stars like Demi Moore and Ryan Reynolds. It is important to mention that Meghan was not featured on any of the 5 international covers of Time's 100 Most Influential People list this year. Still, her presence and her subtle statement it carried left a lasting impression, showcasing her ongoing evolution as a global public figure with deep personal and symbolic connections to her royal past. Meghan is well known for putting an outfit together with a lot of thought. So, although the article is complimentary, I also find it reductive because Meghan is more than her clothes. I still find it odd that the focus is on Meghan's attire and accessories rather than what she actually says.
All things to be talking about for Time 100. Let's talk about flower sprinkles. Because I think it speaks to the tiny moments of joy that are so effortless and just create a little bit of magic that we're all craving in our everyday. They're tiny little flower petals that are dried. I started putting them on salads. I started putting them on scrambled eggs. It didn't actually matter. On a yogurt parfait, the level of charm that you find people have when they see these tiny little dried petals is something I can't fully wrap my head around, but I appreciate that there is a love for the detail and the small level of delight that can be added. So take flower sprinkles really as an analogy and think about what you could do in your everyday life that can just have a little splash of magic on unexpected moments. I think as a working mom, and again, these are 3 projects that we're all launching really at the same time. So the behind the scenes for the past year and a half have been incredibly busy and ambitious, but to see it all come to life and try to give yourself the space and the grace to make mistakes, to know that you're not going to get it right every day, and at the same time to prioritize what we're going to put out as our next tranche of SKUs as equally important to me as Archie losing his first tooth this week, which is about to happen, and I just hope we're back home in time for it. That it all matters. And when you look at your life through that perspective, which frankly being a parent gives you the most illuminating perspective, because what is seemingly so big somehow becomes so microscopic in importance compared to what's happening with your children. It's certainly how I feel, that you just make time to do it all. And I think maybe that's what is hopeful. That's what feels like the dream.
And I love the way that Meghan explains that the noise surrounding her is not going to stop her from fulfilling her purpose, and that the noise surrounding her is born out of wasted effort.
When I am able to not even just tune out whatever that noise is, to really not give it any credence, that has become so much a part of my day-to-day life. And things will get brought to my attention on a need-to-know basis. Outside of that, I'm kind of late on the boat for a lot of things going on, and I'm okay with that. That's part of what I find to bring me peace. It also helps me have very, very strategic focus on the intention of the products, the creative or the producerial work that we're doing that I want to bring to the table. So it does give me a lot of space to focus because I'm not in the same swirl that a lot of us find ourselves in.
It's really nice to see that Her decision to block out all of that noise has given her the space to truly feel happy.
I comfortably say is I'm the happiest that I've ever been. And that part, to have a partner and a husband who is just so supportive, and to have healthy kids that are so joyful in the freeness of their life and the safety of their life that we create for them, of all the things that have happened in my life, I never would have imagined getting here at this point. I would feel just so happy and grateful, and I really do. Well, that's nice.
So I wasn't surprised to see Meghan get mocked again online just for wearing clothes that she feels comfortable in. Obviously, the article that I read earlier was fairly complimentary, but the majority of articles that I had come across, they were very disparaging. As I say, not a surprise. And I think people have a severe problem with the fact that she wears jewellery that once belonged to Harry's mum. She's entitled to wear those pieces. I mean, what does it say about people when they have jealousy for someone who doesn't even acknowledge them? This whole thing is ridiculous. Every week after week after week after week, I just hear more and more ridiculous things. And this is why I'm so happy that Meghan, from a very early stage, decided to block out all of the noise, because if she let that in, the progress that she's made in her personal life, her professional life, she wouldn't have made that progress, because she would have been too concerned about how she's been perceived. Harry, on the other hand, was one that used to read everything about himself, and this is why he was so reactive. He was so reactive, and I'd imagine that Meghan has kind of advised him, Harry, or H as she calls him, just don't read it. Like she advised her friend Whitney Wolfe Herd on the first episode of her podcast. You know, she was talking about how she was reading everything about herself, and Meghan was like, oh, well, I've told you before, you don't read it, because it doesn't serve you to read negative. I mean, basically block out everything, whether it's positive or negative, because as Meghan has quoted often, everyone's opinions go down the same drain. Your focus should be so laser that you don't even know what's going on outside. So I'm happy that she's once again said to people, I actually don't care. I need to be focused on what I'm doing. And in order to do that, I literally have to block out that noise. And Harry's learnt, and he's a lot less reactive. That's what I've noticed. And I'm happy for it, because their kids see how they deal with these issues, and they will grow up more mentally stable because they've seen how their parents deal with negativity online. I mean, we live in an online world now, and there's no escaping it. And I'm just so happy that with regard to Harry and Meghan doing what they can to limit these kids being exposed to such harmful content. And what I like about the Sussexes is that they just don't say stuff, they actually put action behind their words, and they are vilified for it. Imagine being vilified for saying that you're the happiest you've ever been. That's what happened to Meghan. I remember one piece, well, I didn't even watch it, I just saw Dan Wootton with his, Dan Wootton had something to say. let me behave myself. Dan Wootton had something to say. Now, if you are going to criticize someone for saying that they're the happiest they've ever been, what on earth does that say about you? This is the negativity that we live in. We can't seem to escape it, and that's why, you know, Meghan said she creates these little moments of joy, like with the flower sprinkles. Flower sprinkles, you know, Who knew that they could make people happy? But they do. And why shouldn't you grab those moments? But people literally like to live in darkness. That's what I've realised. People are very comfortable to live in a cesspit of darkness. They seem to thrive in it. If you take them out of that, they become uncomfortable. And that's why you see a lot of miserable people. They don't like to be surrounded by happy people. Notice the next time you're in your friendship group or amongst family members or your work colleagues, notice if you're in a good mood, they are very quick to bring you down because they're not happy. They don't want you to be happy. Guys, if your thoughts were provoked in any way, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. I want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day and you shall catch me in the next video.